This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, showtime. As always, welcome to Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. Every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. More than anything, God willing. Glad you can make it tonight. I got a great show tonight, but we'll talk about that in a second. I do want to mention something. I want to welcome everybody to Daylight Savings Time. I know there's a whole lot of people just like dancing. Daylight savings. I get it. I totally get it. But we do this every year. Here comes, spring back, fall forward, whatever the hell it is. And, it just blows on by. But one way or another, we make it. And everything is wonderful. I hope everybody's doing well. Because I mean that. Life is challenging lately. We talk about that all the time. But I do have a great show tonight. I do want to mention one thing. Tonight, I have psychic medium Amie Balesky on the show. She talks to dead people. And those of you who may have followed it, she's been on the show almost 4 years ago. July will make 4 years ago. It's taking me quite a while to get her back on the show. However, because of her schedule, I'm having to pre-record this show earlier today because she's booked way too much. That's why it's taking me so long. And I wasn't going to give up this opportunity. And so, I don't normally do this. I go live. I love seeing your comments. I love answering your comments. But tonight we're making an exception because she's worth it. So bear with me. Again, if I don't get to answer your comments. But keep putting the comments in there because they'll be seen. I just can't get to them, okay? And that's that. But she's going to be on in a few minutes, and I can't tell you enough how happy I am finally to get her on the show. Real quick, next week, while I'm at it, next week, Wednesday, March 18th, I'm going to have author Paul Sutliff on the show, an expert on civilization jihad. Now, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world right now that just happens. This is all falling into place. I've been after this guy we've been talking for a year. And I finally, it just kind of happened. And he's got a book. Coincidence? I don't know. But he's going to be on the show. He's an author. He's got a book on civilization jihad, the cancer of civilization jihad. And we're going to talk about that stuff because that's what he does. He knows, a lot more than I do. And I'm going to pick his brain. And I didn't expect it to all be coming on while we got things going on in Iran and all that, but we do, and I'll take it. So, education time. I definitely learned stuff, but that's what's happening Wednesday, March 18th, right here on this show. Paul Sutliff with his book, The Cancer of Civilization Jihad. We're all going to learn a few things, good and the bad. Anything else? No, I'm trying to hurry because I want to get her on the show. So we're blowing through my normal baloney I talk. It's all good. It's all good. Anything else we got going on? No. Here's what we're going to do real quick. I got to do this because I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. So sit back, get your popcorn. It's going to truly be a treat for one and all. But we'll be right back, and we'll be bringing Amie on the show. Be right back.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green-grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right. Clean Star Products with their DX1 driver. I got 2 words for you. It works. Peace sign. It is, and it does. I use it myself. This little bitty bottle right here. This is for your average 4-door sedan. You pour this into a clean oil change that'll last an average car 5,000 miles. If you have a Mercedes or something like that, it'd be 10,000 miles. And then when you fill up your tank, you put one of these bottles into your fuel tank, fill up your tank, and just drive. It's that simple. Notice the difference. I did, especially within about 3 tankfuls. It's really great for high mileage cars too. It starts bringing all that oomph back that you lose from, degradation of the engine and things like that, more lubricity, all that stuff. But don't believe me. Give them a call. They got a website, www.cleanstarproducts.com, but there's a phone number on their website as well as tons of information, but they want to talk to you personally. They will answer all your questions, kind of customer servicey, right? But here's the kicker. Should you decide to order, you mentioned that you saw it on the Peter G Show, and you got to call them to do this. You say, hey, I saw it on the Peter G Show. They will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. Do the math. 5 bottles for the price of 4. A deal's a deal. And to me, that makes a good starter kit because you put 1 in the oil change. When you get your oil change, put it in there. And then you have 4 to use for 4 full tanks of gas. You'll notice the difference. You will. And after that, put it in once a week, once a month. Just put it in that gas tank because it's good food, good body. That's the only way I can explain it on layman terms. It definitely makes a difference. And let's face it, mechanics are expensive. You can't get out of a shop for under $500-$600 minimum into the several $1,000s. Nobody wants to do that. And I don't like buying cars for nothing. I'm just one of those guys. I've been there, done that, don't want to do it anymore. So check them out. Give them a call, 310-200-8931. Chances are you may even talk to Ty himself. Speak to them, mention you saw it on the Peter G Show, and you are good to go. I'm telling you. It's that simple. All right? Okay, shifting gears. Where am I? Yeah, I'm not there. All right. Let's take a sip real quick. Ooh. Smooth. Okay. This is probably one of the fastest turnarounds I've done in a long time because I want her so badly on this show. I want to keep her as long as I can. Again, it took me a long time to get up with her and get her to, she's got a crazy ass schedule. That's what youngins can do. They can just run, even though, but she finally made it. We worked it out, even though we're pre-recording. I got her, and I'm happy as hell. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, psychic medium, Miss Amie Balesky.
It's just me.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
I know we spoke a couple of minutes prior because we have this advantage of pre-recording,
Yeah.
but I truly mean it. Like I said, for the audience, I'm so glad we finally I get to have you in front of me, and we just kind of pick up where we left off or wherever that was 4 years ago.
I know. Well, time doesn't matter. So, and also, I think that product that was for the ad was amazing. But isn't it sad that we can't make products that don't fuck up in the long run? Like anything, right? We don't make cars anymore like we used to. We don't make light bulbs. We have to have these other things. What a waste.
Yeah. Well, no doubt everything's throwaway now. And the washing machines, the $80,000 for a pickup truck. They're pretty, but they don't last.
No, mine. We bought ours. We have a 3500, like with the Allison transmission dually to haul cattle, and it's a year old, and the transmission died.
Yeah.
1 year, $94,000 truck died, and they ended up giving us a new one. And I'm like, what? Why?
No,
why?
It sucks, and I'm telling you, like, because I've been with the cars, the newer cars, and now I'm kind of sticking to the older ones because I know I can fix them.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Yeah. I'm literally thinking about buying a Lincoln Continental, a 2011. That's the last one on a frame, and it's a what do they call that? A land yacht or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, they're great though.
But those in the cop cars, the Crown Victorias, like the old ones, those are the last of the bulletproof cars that just last. You can fix them. Anyway,
well, if you find one, if you find two, let me know. I'll take one, and then you can turn it into California style, and I'll turn it into Houston style. So we'll drop it. We'll put rims on it. We'll do candy paint.
You're gonna put horns on the front?
Yes, absolutely. I already have a set.
Okay. Hey, before we even get out, because I didn't even get to have you let you explain it. I happened to be traveling not too long ago, and I stopped off somewhere. I was with my daughter, and I made it. And she only one thing that she wanted me to do while we were traveling is stop somewhere. And this,
I was see. Oh, it's like a psychic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I called for you, but I don't think you heard me. I was right there. I was right there.
Your problem was you're in Katy. You're in like no man's land.
Yeah, well, I guess, but we saw the sign, and it was like, okay, this looks like as good a place as any, and I guess maybe because I knew you were there, so I did that so I could take the picture.
Yes, exactly. Everything happens for a reason. Remember?
Yeah. Let's start. Yeah, I do remember. Believe me, I live by that. I want you to take real quick, just introduce yourself because a lot has changed. Like the show has grown and a lot more people, and just introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I'm Amie Balesky. I'm a professional psychic medium, whatever that means. So essentially you go through and you read energy and vibration and spirits, and you don't actually die, you just transition over, and from there you learn the language and you can still learn how to connect and talk. And so I teach, I educate, I have sessions, and I have a large social media following. That's it. Done. That's me. And I'm a farmer, and I live in Texas. Done. So I'm a regular person at the same time.
You've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, so I've been channeling since I was 5, and then, but like professionally doing it for, what am I, 37 now? So if we put book like calendar, that was 21, but then actually channeling people, like taking appointments, 14, 15. So 23 years. Yeah, a long time.
Long time. I stumbled upon you back when I found you.
When I had long hair.
Well, yeah. Well, that's another thing. You cut your hair in because you had a friend that had cancer or something like that.
Yeah, she was my longest running childhood best friend. We were in 6th grade together. We were both in orchestra together, and she has another sister who's a really good person, but she found out she had stage 3 breast cancer. And I'm talking to her and made a video to like help pay for some of the treatment. And then I was like, why don't I just shave my hair with you? And she's like, okay, because her sister wanted to do it with her, which is fine because it's beautiful and long. So I was like, well, here we go. So now we're growing it back out. Done.
Well, you've had it short for quite some time now.
It was April. I shaved it off in April of this past year. So it'll be a year. And then I decided to try to put, because somebody online told me, oh, in order to bring out the gray that I had, you need to put this certain toner on it. So I put a toner on it and turned it orange. And I was like, no. So then I shaved it off again in August. So this is where we're at. This is what we got.
Okay. Because honestly, you're lucky. You could pull it off. You look really cute like that, But
thank you.
Yeah, I saw your hair before you shaved the sides, and it was just kind of full short. And it, I don't know, it looked like the same color hair that you normally had in the past, like when it was long, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was absolutely the same. Yeah, I just don't like because my face is longer. If you have it poofy on the sides, just like it doesn't lend to a good geometrical pattern. So you have to shave it to do it on top. Anyways, it's all about math.
All right, feng shui.
Yeah, and angles. I mean, feng shui is real. I mean, it is. But we have these words for these very logical things, and we put on, like, let's talk about spiritual medium, right? What does that mean? We have all these very fluffy words, or we can even talk about enlightenment. Why do we have all these stupid ass words for things that are just like a natural thing? So everybody's a medium, everybody can channel, everybody can feel, everybody can understand this, except most people are used to the noise that is happening 24/7 around them, and they're paying attention to that. And so they have to turn their brain off and get into the state of only now. And then you can start to learn how to feel and then essentially translate it. So that's like spiritual mediumship. It's just feeling vibrations and energy that's already naturally there and then turning it into words. Or when we talk about somebody that says, oh, I'm enlightened, what does that mean? That essentially means that you realize that you are everything and nothing all at the same time. And you just don't give two shits. And you just experience your life through you and your own eyes, not through other people. Done. There you go.
Well, look, I think that, what you do, you're going to get people that think you're amazing, like me, or you're going to find people that are going to say, oh, you're full of crap. This is all bullshit.
That's okay.
I know. But I mean, because remember, here's how it all started. I was a big fan, and you were on her show, Sylvia Brown, right?
Yeah, a long time ago.
But the thing is, I was a fan of hers back in the 90s, but if you look into it, I mean, there's all these pros and cons. Somebody's always going to be knocking and going, she was up for a challenge. Somebody challenged her and she never did do this or do that. And it's like,
yeah. Why does somebody have to be a dog?
I don't know.
Get over here, perform for me now, bitch.
I get it.
Fuck you, not you, everybody else.
I know. To me, if somebody tells you something that nobody else could possibly ever know, I'm sorry. You're going to tell me you're a good guesser. I mean, sure, there's ways to work a room. We've talked about that in the past. There are some phonies, but you do more one-on-one stuff. You don't go into the big rooms and just do generalization. I've watched a million of your videos, and now I've been so busy I haven't, but I catch pieces of you. But you get into detail with people.
Yeah, I don't like the broad spectrum thing. I also don't like the whole, oh, I see that you're going through changes in your life. Everybody's going through fucking changes every day. I decided to change, my shirt today. Like, yes, that is a change. So that broad spectrum analysis could be used for anything, right? It's when you get in and you start connecting with somebody and you start feeling, and like last night, example of the young man I was talking about that got ran over by a tree. Last night, all she said, we had a session. She was my last client. And she says, I want to talk to my husband. I miss him. That was what she said on her appointment. That's it. Because I get an email. So I get in there and I start vibing out. And this very light, now mind you, he's 24 when he dies. He brings that up later in the day. He says like forever 24. And I can see it in my brain. And I'm like, oh, is he 24? And he died? She says, yes. So he comes up and he's very happy. My initial feeling at first when like a young person passes, and this is just coming from me channeling for forever, is okay, it's a drunk driver or they died of like an overdose or they died of suicide. I don't know if you can say those words on here, but maybe we should bleep them out. Okay, cool. And so I'm initially feeling for more of that middle area, which if you cross and I'll just kind of censor it myself. If you unalive yourself, I hate that word, but if you do that, you usually go 99.9% of the time into a middle vibrational state, which feels very melancholy, which is where we're at. So if you have a spirit around you, which is just a person, it's not a spirit, like you still exist, you just shift. You can start feeling that wave of like melancholy or anxiety or stress or sadness that's coming from them because they're locked or they're staying in that vibration to which they took their life from. And so when I get in with this client, I'm feeling for that feeling and I'm getting nothing. It almost feels like echolocation. You're giving something out and you're waiting for the beat back. Ping, 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 ping. And I'm not getting no pings. So I start getting really happy, which you have to adjust yourself. And I start feeling this guy and he's like, oh my God, babe, I'm here. I'm fine. I'm good. I love you. And so that feeling is, holy shit, he died very quickly and very tragically because he didn't get a chance to say goodbye. There was no closure for her, nothing. So now my brain is turning and I'm like, okay, how did you cross? How did this work? How did this work? And I have, since I've channeled so many people and I've seen so many things, I have this huge book in my brain of all the different ways of you could pass, but all the different subtle nuances that go with it. So they're essentially going through your brain because your brain's a computer and trying to pull that out and get you to consciously understand what they went through while you keep your animal brain shut off. Because if those interact together, you can't channel. It just doesn't work. And so he brings out a client that I had, 3 years ago, maybe more. one of my other clients booked a session for her mom, and she wanted to channel her dad that had passed like in the 70s. And so anyways, this was the only time this happened. And he made me feel, or he showed me a log rolling, and he showed how this huge tree rolled over on top of him and crushed him, and he died. And they didn't get any insurance or anything because it was the company's mistake back in the 70s. They didn't do that. So anyways, so he shows me that, and I'm like, no way. Because I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, no way, this 24-year-old kid didn't get fucking run over by a tree. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's going on in my brain. Pa, 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 pa. And I'm like, is it right? Is it right? And as I'm doing that, he pushes it again. Now, all this happens in a second in my head, but outward, it feels like it's 10 minutes, but it's not. It's like a second and a half for the client sitting in front of me. And he's like, no, just say it. And so I say it. I'm like, this is weird. I said, was he doing anything with like logs? Like, did he get crushed by something? And she freaks out, and she's talking about how he was a logger and the chain snapped, and then the tree came down and fell on top of him, and he died instantly. And I was like, oh, okay. So he pulled that session, that only one that I ever had, to try to talk about what happened to him. And then the next question is, well, why do they talk about that? Okay, you have a breakup and you talk about it to people. I mean, even on the beginning of your show, you're saying, I'm a single dad, because you are, and I'm divorced. That is trauma. Trauma's leaking out a little bit everywhere, but you can get rid of it. You can move past it. When you die that way, and it's so quickly, and your loved one doesn't have any closure, and you don't have any closure, you want to talk about it, but you can't, because you don't have a fucking mouth anymore. So then the medium comes in, if they're actually good, and they come in and they create this channel and this connection, and you can actually feel in the room this lightness, this type of release. And then they're able to live their life, which means just like kind of hanging out with you, making sure you're okay, making sure you don't die. And then you're able to now have this refresher because you're not stuck in the past. And now you're able to move forward, which now you're both in a higher vibrational state. Wow. That's it. Done. I just explained the whole thing.
No, I get it, but that's back to like, if you can say something like that, there's no denying your, what you do. I mean, there isn't. There's just, you can't go find it in the obituaries. They're not going to tell you how somebody passed away. I mean, no. Recently you've been putting those little lights, those blinking lights and stuff, and okay, so I get it. I make a joke out of everything. I'm in my head while you're doing that, and you're going, see, it went off. I'm going, how do I know Chris isn't in the background, like the man behind the curtain hitting the switches, going? I'm making a joke.
Okay, yeah. Can I tell you about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. Okay, so let me get up. You'll get to see my whole outfit. Okay, so essentially, when you go and do like ghost hunting shows or whatever it is, I hate the term ghost hunting. It's fucking stupid. You're not hunting. Okay. You're already okay. If somebody has that thought of ghost hunting, you believe that you yourself, when you die, need to be hunted.
Well, you're finding.
That's stupid. Like, we're putting a derogatory thing. We are literally saying that the spirit that you're talking to, which is an all-knowing, all-conscious entity that knows that you're coming to that location, that probably made you come to that location. That's what happens. You're now saying, I'm hunting them. No, bitch. They're hunting you. In fact, they're wanting to connect with you so that they can find their light. But anyways, long story short, these are called REM pods. So people that do spirit investigations, I don't have a battery in it, but it has one of the bigger batteries. I forgot what it's called. But it sends out through this antenna, it sends out an EMF or electromagnetic field, right? And it only goes about this far. So it's usually about 2 inches around. So a spirit, which you are, we all have an electromagnetic field. We have a resonance to us. I'm sorry. It's just logic. And it's just a scientific thing. We buzz. We're vibration or energy. If you don't care, go look it up. Okay. But anyways, when you're a spirit, you're pure energy, you're pure consciousness. And when you come into this vibrational state, which is middle, right? Creation, the world, life is neither good nor bad. It just exists, right? It doesn't have an opinion on anything. It's just creation, nature, all that. That's where we're at right now. And so when you come in as a spirit, you have to come in through this density, which is connected through your mind, which our energy, our vibration, it's almost like this bridge. And then they can come through and they can feed off your, it's going to sound weird, but they feed off your energy and your connection. And then they can come up and they can touch this. Actually, they hover around it normally, or they try to get on top of it. And you're still conscious when you're dead. Like you're not even dead. You're still alive. You're more alive than you are right now. But you're very conscious when you're crossed over. You see everything, you know everything. It's like you see things from the top down. So you see what's going to happen, what did happen, how things will work out, what are the different paths. And so you can talk them in your mind. And if they are strong enough, and most of the time when this goes off, it's because of somebody that usually committed suicide, or it's because of somebody that got murdered, because they have a little bit more stress. They're a little bit more of a heavier energy. They're not bad, but they're more here in this middle area because they want to move forward, and they can. They just have to let themselves. So if this goes off, it's 9 times out of 10, it's more of a middle vibrational spirit. That's what happens. And so, but they can only, so when spirits talk, or when they communicate, or when they use these devices, they can, I've studied a lot more since then, which means like doing my own shit and figuring out and testing and stuff and talk to you. So spirits talk in waves. So they'll come in and they'll give you a lot of information, or they'll be able to set everything off, and then it'll go down to nothing. And it's like they're gone. And then they'll come back in and they'll give you a lot of information, and then they'll go away and it'll be nothing. And so you can track some spirits. They can talk in bigger waves. Some spirits, they're a little bit softer, and they'll talk in smaller waves. Some spirits that are in a higher vibrational state are like heaven, like, grandma that died of a stroke that was perfectly fine, that had a peaceful type of service. She may be able to set this off, but usually not, because she's not that low. And remember, low is not bad. It's just a space. That's it. None of it's bad. It just is. But yeah, so that's what this is. So they can come in and they can set this off. And it's really cool. If you have more of like a middle vibrational spirit, let's say, like I had a gentleman, his name was Bubba Mike. And I channeled his son, or him for his son. And he was this very loud, very proud, like truck mechanic owner, but he owned like 5 different mechanic shops in the Houston area. It's funny, in like Katy, which is where you just showed me. So it's interesting. So now I'm pondering if I'm going to have a session with them coming up, because I start to see these little bing, bing, bing. I call them Easter eggs in my life. And then they start storing it. And then I promise you, he's going to show up, or his family's going to show up in the next couple of weeks, and I'll email you and let you know. But when he showed up, I had this on, and any time that he would give me an answer in my brain, I always do not second guess myself, but to ask again, just to confirm. Every time I would ask a second time, he would set that off. And that means like, say it, freaking say it. And I would say it, and it would be correct. The most absurd things, doom, 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 all the way down. Well, he got really sad. He broke up with his girlfriend that he had for like 20 years, and he didn't know what to do. He was a little bit in debt. And so he took a gun and he shot himself in the head in his garage, and his son found him.
Wow.
So, and now the son is living in his house and redoing his house. And so of course he's wanting to come through and talk. So yeah, so that's what he was doing. And so as the session went on, you could feel him getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And it was really cool. And then now he'll show up every so often, but he doesn't set my stuff off anymore because he's in a higher vibrational state.
So that they don't, the higher vibration they are, the less they give a shit about communicating. Is that
no. They want to communicate 24/7, but the higher they are, the less they can affect things in our world or our density. So they see it more as a viewpoint. You feel them more as love and connection or inspiration, or maybe you got this inspiration, like I need to make a show. That's coming from a higher vibrational spirit. That's coming from guides. We'll talk about that too. Angels, all that's all higher vibrational. So that's where you're getting this. Whereas like maybe you're having, here's an example. Maybe you're having an issue with your relationship with your spouse. Maybe you're in a hardcore, terrible relationship where he beats you. God forbid that's a thing. But then all of a sudden you start getting these weird signs and symbols, and you think maybe there's a guy around you. Well, it's probably because there's a spirit that picked up on you, and maybe he ended up dying because he took out his wife or something. And so he's in a lower registry. So now he's becoming your guide and trying to get you out of the situation with your husband. And when you finally do, he raises up because he helped you. And now you're out of the bad situation too. So you raise up. So the whole thing of like, really getting your wings through selfless acts of helping others, that's what happens on the other side as well.
Yeah. I just only with the toys, because a little quick story. A couple of years ago, on TikTok, I see this guy, and he labeled himself Spooky Adventures. He'd go to cemeteries. So I'm watching the kid, he's a younger guy, not a kid, but and I'm looking around at the landscape. I'm going, God, that looks a lot like where my parents are buried. Like the cemetery. So he's walking around, and lo and behold, I've seen him many times. And he's doing the live on TikTok, so you can comment. And I'm commenting, and he can read it because there's a bunch of comments coming in, but he can still see them. And he walks around with like a ghost vox or whatever those things are, the one, the talk, I don't know what they're called.
We'll talk about those too.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden I go, that is the cemetery where my parents are buried. And I comment to him, I go, my parents are there, go to their grave. And I showed him where to go because there's a certain way, something there that like they're right there. And he goes there. And I was going to say I swear on my mother, but true.
No,
so
okay.
It's got those. It's got like that ghost vox. It speaks like it picks up, radio stations.
It's a spirit box. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, like he's talking, and I swear he's like standing there, and he's like, he goes, "Will you say something to Peter?" And there was this little voice that said, like, Peter, and he didn't hear it, but people were going, "I heard it say Peter," and So the show, anyway, long story short, he finishes that, and then we ended up talking after that. And I said, man, I'd like I tried to screen record it. It didn't record. He goes and he takes his. He says, don't worry, I usually take mine and save them. For some reason, that show, he couldn't do it. It wouldn't let it record. It wouldn't let it download, and it disappeared. And it just kind of freaked me out. But anyway,
that would be your family. Now, those your family or those your guides? Probably collectively both. And so, how does that spirit box work? What is happening? Just so you can understand. So, essentially, remember, I want you to think of everything is resonance, everything is vibration, everything is frequency. And there's a million radio waves going through the air right now, but we don't go, oh my God, it's not real. Shut up. Yes, it's everywhere. Everything is vibration. There's the Wi-Fi, the 5G that's like frying our brain that we already know about. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But there's radio waves going through. So everything is radio. Everything is vibration. Everything is frequency. Everything is on different hertz, which is why me like being obsessed with music and creating it and learning about all these different vibrations, that's all it is on quote unquote the other side. Now that's a really hard concept to understand or grasp or go, oh, that's horseshit. If you've never looked into it before, but if you really start understanding what it is, then it makes a lot more sense. So a spirit will come through because they're already there. Nobody's coming through. You just now give them a voice, and they pop in your head all the time. You just don't realize it because there's so much other noise going on, meaning like life. Okay. But anyways, when you have that radio scanner, or when you have, like, I like using the Transcend Theory app by one of my friends named Chris. He's been doing it for 10 years. He's fabulous. And it's the only one that's been undebunkable, right? It's like used the scientific tools. But when it's scanning that radio, it's scanning those frequencies. And that spirit can use that vibration or that frequency. They can pull that out and they can change it into a word. Peter, or Amie, or I love you. But because remember, they talk in waves, they don't have infinite amount of energy. They do, but not in this density, just like us. If you told me to go run for 10 hours, I could not do it. What would I do? Well, I couldn't run for a minute. Like, fuck that. But essentially, well, who needs to run? I'd be the first to die in one of those horror shows. But the other thing is, like, they don't have all that endless energy just because we don't, because we work simultaneously together. So if he's going through and he's super intense, the guy that's walking around, they're pulling off of his energy. But because he's also doing a million other things and not channeling in, he's only going to get these little quick pop up, pop up, pop up type of energy because he's not tapped in at that moment, if that makes sense. But it is a very real thing.
It just, I go, what were the odds? I'm on TikTok.
There's no odds. Everything happens for a reason.
I found this guy, and then I start watching him. Even my daughter said, that looks like Pensacola, and because, the greenery, different environment.
Oh,
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. And then as I looked and you could see surrounding areas from the cemetery, I'm going, and then I go, so what are the odds of that? And then he goes over there, but all that stuff just disappeared. Like it wasn't, we weren't able to save it. And I don't know why. Why would that be?
Well, we can't sit in the why. Why would it be? Because you weren't meant to be. Maybe that was just part of your belief system and the structuring and understanding that everything is supposed to happen. And now you just have to have, I hate the term faith, but you just have to realize that it existed and it happened. And you go, oh, that's cool. and then you move forward. You don't have cynicism about it. You just have that neutral, like, well, that was nifty. And then what will end up happening is it'll happen again. It'll happen again. It'll happen again. Because when it stops happening is when you look at that and you go, oh, no, it's not real. No, it's not a thing. Oh, that's stupid. You're putting yourself, you're compressing yourself, you're putting yourself in a lower vibrational state. So therefore, you're on a different channel than your parents that are in a higher vibrational state. Therefore, you will not get the connection. It's like trying to listen to a certain radio station on 103.9, but you're on 97.1. But you're expecting to get the music on 103 and you're not tuned to it. And then you're bitching at the person that's turning the knob. You're the knob.
Look,
Anyways,
I think everybody. I mean, with me, it's like I couldn't ask enough to hear. And look.
Yes.
These past 2 years, I dream all the time. I mean,
yes, good.
I not only dream all the time. I almost want to go back to bed at times to dream some more because I dream a lot. They don't make any sense and they're nothing worth to write home about. And especially that in between when you're falling asleep, I know I'm not asleep. But yet I'm seeing things that like they're flashes and nothing makes sense.
That's the vibration you're in when you channel.
Well, I'm aware that something's going on, but I can't put it together and I forget it the minute I wake up. But this has been going on for the past 2 years more than ever.
Yes, that's the zone, that's the channel, that's the frequency, that's that, I think it's called beta wave state or alpha. I don't remember what wave it is. Sorry, I'm not a scientist. I just study spirits. But with that's that vibration or frequency that you are in to channel. So when you have somebody like, let's say with me, like I was talking about how earlier today, I was having that really bad migraine. Like and obviously I just took my meds right now, but when I'm in pain, I'm not paying attention to the nuances because my body hurts. Right. So I'm there. It's like my body is electric. When I get into a calm, relaxed state and I'm now all the noise is wiped away and I'm in this kind of middle area, then you breathe, then you let it go. And then I just essentially, this is how you chant, just FYI, I'm going to teach everybody right now. You breathe, you let it go. And most of us, we love to carry stress around. We super enjoy it because we're used to that energy. And then when we don't have it, we feel like something's wrong. So then we fucking create more stress for ourselves, which you don't need to. So what you do is you take a second, deep breath in, deep breath out, make sure it's in a quiet location. And then from there, imagine or envision that all your stress, all your anxiety, all of your anger, which don't serve you. I don't know why you're carrying it around. Imagine that it's like a thermometer at the very top of your head. So you take a really deep breath in and then you breathe out. And then you push it, you just like envision it going down. I like to add a little bit of like fun theatrics. So act like you're pushing it out your butthole because that makes you giggle and that raises your TC. So that raises your vibrational state at the same time. So now it's funny and you're doing it. So as you let it all go, you sit there and that feeling, once you're going to almost feel like flat or neutral. That's the state to which you begin channeling and feeling and connecting. But when you're in pain or you're stressed, you're in this, like the wave is. So you have to get to a state where you're very calm and just don't care. And then from there, remember, like if you're just sitting here right now and you're like, okay, I'm going to try to feel a spirit. Remember the reason why like spirits are, I mean, they're all around you. They're 24/7, but remember you are a fully conscious entity. So just because you sit there and you want to connect doesn't mean that they're going to connect with you. Like they have to decide that they want to connect with you too. Like, is there a purpose to connect? Because remember, what is the most precious and valuable commodity in this universe? What is it? Energy. It's gone, right? So a spirit, which is you, which is all knowing, that knows this, is not going to go waste its time. So like all those type of mediums that are like, I'm doing a peek to see what Jeffrey Epstein, he didn't kill himself, by the way. But anyways, I'm going to do a peek to see what he's doing. I don't think he's dead. I touched his doorknob in his Manhattan place. I don't think he's dead. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. You can add that. You can be like Jeffrey Epstein.
We're going to get into that stuff too, but go finish what you're doing.
Okay. So anyways, like the woman that says, I'm going to peek in to see what his spirit is doing. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein's soul, which is all knowing, is going to try to connect with somebody just so they can put on a video to talk about how bad he was? Would you do that?
No, but
No.
I mean, I'm always wishing that I could connect. I mean, always.
But you can, but you connect with your spirits all the time. Like, I'll give you a fun example. So this was was this Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. So it was Sunday, and I'm cleaning out different closets because we moved in. We kind of threw stuff in like this side because we have 3 different bedrooms in here. And so I'm cleaning out the closets, and I found this one. It's a heated blanket, and the heated blanket doesn't work anymore. But it was the last thing that my dad had on him before he died. Like, I put it on him. He was cold in the hospital. He passes. I take it with him. You know, I'm there with him, and so I pull it out, and I call my husband and I said, please go throw this away. And he goes, why? And I look at him all teary eyed and I'm like, because I don't need it. I don't need it. Why do I need to keep myself in that place of sadness when that's not what my dad is? He's not that. He's never going to be that anymore. And sorry, obviously I'm getting emotional, and that's not who he is. And so anyway, so he takes it and he burns it in the burn pile, which is perfectly fine. Obviously, here we go. But as I'm sitting there and I'm cleaning out this closet, a second later, I pick up a book and a card falls out. And it just says, thank you for being my daughter. And it was from 2010. And it was a card from my dad just randomly. And I'm like, and I get like frustrated. So I'm like, fuck you, I love you. But God damn it, at this moment, Jesus Christ, you know? And so my husband's burning that. I didn't even know this card existed. It was from like just February of 2010. And I'm like, all right, okay, fine. And then I let it go, and like all the lightness comes back and all the breath comes back. And so that's my dad. That's a higher vibrational spirit. I didn't feel sad anymore. It was gone in a second. And it's because they don't want you to get to that level, because it doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve them. So they will try to come in to bring you back to that lighter state, because that's how they connect with you.
I don't know. I just have this constant urge, like I want to dream about my parents or something, but it's very rare, random, and if it is, it's a speck, and I don't remember it. And but I've gone back to bed because I dream so much that like I'll like be walking by and going, I'm going to lay down for another hour just because I want to try and dream. And I'm wasting my day.
Why? No. But the dreaming about even with my dad, my sister, everybody's dead. But like with him, he's been gone since 2019. I've had 2 dreams about him, and I do this 24/7.
Yeah.
So if that tells you how rare it is, sometimes there's just not a need. Sometimes instead of us just relying on a dream, we have to realize that this is going to get weird. You ready for it? Our whole life is a dream. You don't remember what happened, 2 days ago at 1:15 in the afternoon, like most of the time. You don't remember. If I asked you, a year ago, what color socks did you wear on a Thursday? It's like it didn't exist. Everything's a dream. Everything is fleeting. Everything is changing. Everything. And so when we wake up from life, which goes back into life, you just realize that they were there the entire time. And you realize that these signs and symbols and images and pictures and weird coincidental things that are not coincidental, you will realize that, oh, I never had to dream about them because they were always there to begin with. I just didn't notice it. That's it.
Yeah, I guess it's just emotions. We miss people. Everybody wants to be back to, where it is, and it's not. And you just live off of those memories, and it just kind of messes with your head a lot, because you love people.
Yes. Yeah. What do you do? You're staying home on Sunday though, right?
I'm sorry.
This coming Sunday?
What about it?
What is this Sunday? What are you doing Sunday? I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll probably be home. I don't know.
You're just being home. Okay. Interesting.
I didn't think about it yet.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody was talking about Sunday, and I know it's nobody's birthday or anything like that. Unless something rolls around like the 15th for you. Somebody put in the 15th in my brain.
Well, we're in the we're getting real close to that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, let me know what happened Sunday.
Okay.
Sorry, I know that's weird, but it popped in like 15 minutes ago, and so I was like, I'll just ask him. Yeah.
I'm all over the map because again, I haven't talked. There's other things like we never during the first show. You never talk about worldly things that are going on. Like I swore I was never going to get into politics and religion on this show, and somehow or another I felt it was my duty to speak up for things that I felt needed speaking up for. You don't talk about much of like what's going on in our world. You just don't pay attention or keep it out, or you just stay out of it for the sake of like staying out of it. What's your pick on? Because you told me one time we just texted, like you were on YouTube, and you go, I want you back on the show, and you said, yeah, okay, great, we will. And I go, well, we could talk about Pizzagate or something. And I'm going, okay, I mean,
isn't that interesting that that's now popping up again?
Yes, I mean, I had a whole show on it a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it's just because people have no clue of what's going on around us. We're in some weird times.
I will tell. Well, this is the whole thing. The weird times have always been here. We're just now noticing it.
Okay.
That's it.
I'll take it. But I mean, it's coming. Everything's coming to the forefront. Even your jelly roll friends are like, what's going on? There's all this talk. I'm fine. What the hell's going on?
I don't know a crazy amount about that. I know that most of it is BS because it's just hype. And we get addicted. Okay, let's back this up and break it down. We get addicted to things that are not in our own bubble because we feel that our life is boring. And if we go through and we start only focusing, and this is going to be something nobody likes, if we start focusing only on our own bubble, which means like our home, our community, our neighborhood, our neighbor. Imagine if everybody stopped watching the fucking shit show, which is the news, which is just bringing in views. Imagine if everybody had that thought or that energy to just, I'm going to make this space the best that I can. And I'm going to treat the other person next to me as the way that I want to be treated, with compassion and kindness and generosity, not allowing somebody to walk over you, but like being there and like trying to bring out the best. We wouldn't have any of this stuff, but everybody's too worried about what somebody else is doing. And then they feel powerless, which is what the media wants you to do, right? So you still feel like, oh my God, there's going to be a fix. There's going to be a fix. Guess what? There's never going to be a fix because we're meant to experience this bullshit here so we can understand what love is. Okay. It's never going to go away. It's never going to be happy, happy, joy, joy. Everything is peaceful and beautiful. No. That's never going to happen. Be okay with it. But what you can do is you can fix your freaking hole that you're in, because we're all in our own little foxholes coming up, and we need to pop our heads out and realize that it's not that terrible. And if we start fixing what's around us, then the darkness will surely start to fade away. But we don't want to do that. We just want to be addicted to what's going on the internet or what's going on overseas. And it creates that, feeling of like, we can't do anything. So you get addicted to it more. Honestly, it's just a money grab at the end of the day.
The hatred, though, the division that has been going on, and it just sucks. I mean, I try to tell people, like, look, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just putting some things out there. But if you don't agree with me, I'm not going to hate you for it. But
not at all.
You must get crappy comments too. I mean, it's par for the business, I guess. I mean, there's just people that like, they see a short clip and it's like, Peter, you're a friggin' idiot, and it's like, okay, but you right away, I'm asking about clones. I was asking, I go, do you believe in this clone
thing?
Clones
are real. Yes.
Okay. But I was asking people, I wanted to hear their opinions, and somebody just, instead of giving me the answer that he gave me, he had to make sure he called me a clown first for not knowing, understanding, or putting the question out. So he had to explain it. It's like,
because he was projecting his insecurities on you. And when you start to realize that angry people or hurt people in order to try to make themselves feel better, then you start looking at these individuals with compassion and sorrow more than, wow, you're a fucking idiot, I want to punch you in your head. I look at those individuals, like I call the devil on a daily basis. Oh, okay, that's great. Thank you for mirroring what you believe is the devil onto me. I appreciate you. I try to have a neutral conversation with them, but I like to call it angry cat syndrome. So they're like anytime you talk to them, you're an idiot. Okay, all right. So I give you 3 chances. And when you fail those 3 chances, then I block you and I'm like, have a great day. Have a wonderful day. Because why is it, and I think it's changed a lot in the social media or like internet world. Before, if there was a negative comment and you deleted it, people would be like, why are you deleting a negative comment? But you just came to my house and you shit in my living room. And then I'm supposed to be happy that you shit in my living room? No, I'm going to kick your ass out of my house and lock the door. Have a great day. Goodbye, Felicia. Like, that's it. So who cares? Have compassion, but realize most of these people are using you as a punching bag, and you also don't have to take it. So guess what you do? Just put up the finger and ignore them and move on. Done.
I've been told a long time ago, it's like, Peter, don't even read your comments. But then again, we talked about Matt Kim, who claims that he reads all the comments. I go, how can you? I can't keep up with all that stuff that's going on. Facebook has been very kind to me. YouTube, they throttle me back. They block me, everything. But Facebook, it's been exponential, but I try to read the comments. I try to answer but you can't please everybody. It's just the way it is.
No. And remember, at the end of the day, we're all the same thing. You're me, I'm you. When we all wake up from this dream, I mean, we're together. We're just wearing different meat suits. I mean, that's it. So when I look at somebody that's having an angry experience, or when I look at somebody that's being really negative, I'm like, all right, you're going through something and you can't let it go, and you're projecting it. And I know that what I'm talking about is not, and this is not derogatory, but what I'm talking about is not at your frequency or level of understanding. So therefore, when I speak it, it's going to go over your head because you've never experienced it before. And that's not my job to teach you. But when you have that experience, I'll be here to teach you and to answer questions for you. That's it.
I just hate it because, again, there's people that I love very much, and they got TDS really bad. I mean, they just hate it. And you know, we just kind of like make like we don't see each other's stuff, I guess, because I don't want I'm never going to drop somebody because of that. But they're like the ones that like, if you love Trump, just get off, you know, unfriend me. And I'm going, come on, really? Is that where we've been after 40 years? It's like, really?
Yeah. Well, it's because they feel like they're out of control, and so that's the only thing that they feel like they can control, but they can't. So they're going to try to do everything in their life. Also, most of us now are really bored. We don't have anything to work for. We don't create our own businesses anymore. We don't even, I can't tell you how many people are tired, depressed. Why? Because they lack their creativity. They lack their soul. They're put in this little box. They have this consistent pattern over and over again. And we're creative beings. If we're not creating, if we're not working, not just working, but like, let's say we go, that's what we're born to do, is create. And so when we're not, we feel powerless, or we get really bored, and that can turn to frustration, anger. But also remember too, anger is it's two or more emotions that are kind of muddled together that people don't know how to express. So it comes out in the form of anger. So anytime somebody is expressing anger, you really have to break down, why are they feeling that way? What are all the other feelings? And some people just don't even know how to explain it. And at that point, they need to go figure it out.
I'm the farthest from bored. I have more than I know what to do with. I don't think I could ever get bored.
You're creating. Yes, you're doing it.
I always find stuff to do, but I just hate. It's just so sad that they get to that point to where you're willing to, like, you know, tell everybody to like go to hell because you want to be right about something. It's like, who cares? It's like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. But this is where we're at as a general population now, and it's really sad. Everybody, you know, they'll have their little group that solidifies their opinions, but it's just, I don't know, because I just wonder, because you never say anything about this kind of stuff, and then, you know, a long time ago you mentioned Pizzagate, which I was on the back. I had to learn more about it. Now, real.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I did, by the way, everybody, before you see this, I did not commit suicide, or I did not unalive myself. We'll just leave that there. This is the first time that I'm talking about this publicly, essentially. And and I have the results, or I have the receipts, not the results. Okay. So wait, going back real quick before, because I'll forget about it. I talk to and channel peoples in all forms of government, all across the world, from Bangladesh to Sweden to United States to Canada. I mean, I've channeled them all. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because they're all friends with one another. Everybody's kids are getting married. Everybody is hanging out together. And 99% of what you're talking about is a farce. And it's not you, but what people are. And it has already been set in stone, set in the books. The plan is already there. And they're just giving you little drops to try to make money off of you down the line. Why in any form of government, why in any good governing body, all the way across the board, off of any of them, why would they go and try to feed fear and injustice and disgust into the population if at the end of the day, all we really want is to be united? That just sounds counterproductive all the way across the board. And it's because there's people pulling the strings at the top that are swaying an opinion, because really at the end of the day, what is this a battle for? It's not a battle for you. It's a battle for your energy, your beliefs, your feelings, and that's what creates your reality. So if we all believe this one thing, then that turns into creation. If we all believe this other thing, that's what reality turns into. So it's a battle for your beliefs. That's it. That's all it is.
I don't understand why anybody would want to destroy their own country. I a good way of living or decent,
I agree.
humanity.
I agree, because remember, and this is where it gets weird with the spirituality thing, because, obviously since talking to you, do I believe that there's a darkness and a light that's coexisting and trying to have a battle? I don't think it's a battle, because God exists within all. God, source, whatever you want to call it. It is the good. It is the bad. It's all omnipotent. It is everything. But there's not an opinion of good or bad or evil. It just is. Like with the darkness, there is the light. So, but I think us as spiritual beings that are in these meat sacks, there is a pull. There is this duality. Do we go here? Or do we go here? Or do we go here? Do we go here? So that's what that battle is for. And so let's go back over to Pizzagate. So this was back in, I think it was September. No, it was it was December. It was December of 2016. So I had gone up to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I had to have my third and final geneticist appointment at Cincinnati Children's Hospital to get diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So my connective tissue disorder that I have that's giving me all these fuck ups. And so when I went up there, one of my favorite things is high quality dining. I mean, like 5-star dining. So back then, obviously I didn't make a crazy amount of money, but I would save up my money so I could go to this 12-course, $300. I mean, I'd save it for 6 months to go and do this, right? And so I went to... I was 2016. So that's 10 years ago. So I was 26
Okay.
at that point. Yeah. And so I go there and I have this appointment. And that night I had made reservations at the Orchids at Palm Court in the Hilton in downtown Cincinnati. I think it's the Hilton or the Hyatt. It's one of those. It has gold, gilded, everything. It's beautiful. But the restaurant is at Orchids at Palm Court. So I went there. I had a reservation. I think it was like at 6:30. And I went in by myself and they sit me down at this beautiful booth, this red booth, and I get the 12-course tasting menu or whatever it is. And it's just like this, just hands down my favorite restaurant in the entire world. Halfway through, so 6 dishes in, this little older man with this little red bow tie, glasses, like roundish glasses, gray hair, pushed back. He looked kind of like my grandfather. So I think he was Jewish, which is perfectly fine because my family, they're Russian Jews. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. So I'm used to, the look. And he walks in, very, very, very nice tweed, kind of grayish blue suit. And he walks in and there's this younger Indian guy behind him. The younger Indian guy looks maybe early 20s. They walk in and they're sitting at the booth catty corner to me. So probably 20 feet away. And they're eating. And when I get to about my 7th course, out of 12, he walks up and he goes, "What is a beautiful young lady eating at a place like this all by herself?" And I'm like, this person is no threat at all. I'm just like not a threat. And I go, "Oh, I'm here for an appointment." And I said, "I'm just eating here." I said, "I love this." He was like, "Well, me and my friend Ravi, I know the names, would like you to come over and eat with us." He's like, "I'm from Washington, D.C., and Ravi is from Cincinnati." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's cool." So he tells the waiter, which apparently he's been there a lot. He's like, "Hey, da 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 da." And so I get up and I go over to their booth and I sit in between. Now we're about 2 bottles of champagne in, which splits between 3 different people. That's not a crazy amount, but I'm just letting you know there was that involved. And I'm at my last course. So I'm at the 12th. So I'm at dessert. And he's getting the older gentleman's getting a little zesty. He put his hand on my leg. I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Thank you." At first I thought he was gay. I was like, "Oh, well, that's nice, nice," but he wasn't. And then he starts talking and he's like, the truth starts to come out. He tells me that he lives at 1800 Pennsylvania Avenue. He told that to me like I knew what that was. Like I have my law office there and this is where I live. And I'm like, I don't know where the fuck that is because I'm 26 and I don't care about that yet, right? I look it up and it's right there in front of the White House. And anyways, he says, "Do you know," like leans in. Now this is 2016. So if you look that date up, that's when Pizzagate is popping off. Okay. And all I have is a little flip phone in 2016 because I didn't make a lot of money and my dad bought it for me. And I'm sitting there and he says, "Do you know why I come here?" And I have his business card, by the way, still. And I go, "Why?" And he looks over and he leans over me and he goes, "For him." And I go, oh, and I don't get it because slightly autistic here. I'm like, well, that's great. You're friends. And he goes, and you know that Pizzagate stuff? Yeah, I don't like the little boys anymore. I go for the men, Ravi, right? I am just like, what did I just hear? What did I just hear? Because my dad had been watching the news and I heard about it. And I like this ding just hit me. And I'm like, oh my God, I should record it. And I look at my phone. I don't have that capability. And I'm like, oh my God. And I start playing, the ditzy girl. And I'm like, oh, what is that? He says, it's all real. But with how the media is on our side, they'll never know. So he's coming to Cincinnati to go and be with Ravi because that's his new partner, but he's cheating on his wife because he's telling her that he has to go over to the GE head corporate, which is in downtown Cincinnati, to have meetings, but he's really going there to have relationships with Ravi.
Okay, but and that's one aspect of it. But I mean, what about the whole babies and all that kind of stuff?
That's what I'm talking about. He was having sex with young boys and children. And then he switched recently to finding Ravi, who was 21, and he enjoys older men now. 21 is an older man, apparently. But it was a very real thing. Very real thing.
What about because I put it on my show, the talk of jerky and all this kind of stuff. I'm going, this is getting so deep that like, no wonder why nobody's ever going to believe this.
I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, why is that so scandalous? They do that in other countries. They do that. They believe that, human flesh has magical properties to it. I don't know. It's more the spirit behind it, I guess. But if you start to get into that darkness, that heaviness area, then you'll do anything to try to find that power. And also remember, too, the richest. Okay, the more that I hang out with a lot of rich people, and by the way, all my friends that are really, really rich, I'm not putting you in with this. I love you. You're amazing. But the ones that I have kind of like I've just kind of noticed, like you notice trends, but the more wealthier you are, the more on your own island essentially you are, and you don't interact with a lot of other people normally. So you gradually you essentially are locked in your own bubble of your mind and your wants and your desires. And just like people that get mad, right? They get bored. They have everything at their hands. They have everything good going on for them. They have gone everywhere. They have seen everything. So now we're bored. So what are we going to do? We're going to get fucking creative. That's it. But then there's nobody else to stop them. There's nobody else because they bring everybody else into the group. And then they say, if you do this, I'm going to shame you. If you say this, I'm going to put this out here. And by the way, everything that you worked for will be gone. So then now you have this whole blackmail ring going on at the same time. So that's just what happens. That's just what it is. And so as you get more money, or as you grow, or as you become even more eclectic, you have to be really, really careful with who you talk to or who you hang out with. Because there is the light, but there is that undertone of darkness or evil.
I don't think, again, I don't see it. Like I couldn't, I don't know. To me,
I know, because it's not in your value system, and that's perfectly fine because you're a normal person that hasn't been corrupted by any of that.
And I'm very blessed because I thought about this recently too. I have a lot of people in the music industry that, from my music past, that are very, very wealthy as well. And their careers, I know, were made earnestly. Like they got into the business, that they didn't have to do or sign anything to give themselves up for anything. They naturally became stars because they were just talented.
Because they naturally had the drive and the push and the confidence. They pick up the people that do not. Have you ever seen how many, people are amazed at stars like Nicki Minaj and all of that stuff, right? Like, but they were, people are amazing, we're everything. But coming from a place of like financial backing and everything, they were nothing. They were struggling. Right. They had a little bit of a talent. And then somebody said, and they had a little bit of a look, and somebody said, you know what? If I buy her, that's what it is, and put her like into kind of slavery in a sense, because you own them, you tell them perform until you die, like what they did with Elvis, right? And then they move you forward. That's like literally what it is, right? If not, you're going to lose everything. How terrible is that hanging over your head? But essentially you see these stars and they have been pulled up from nothing. They get addicted to the lifestyle because that's what they do at first. They love bomb you. They do all that. They go, here, sign your life away. Oh, you're mine now. Okay, now you're my puppet. So we think of a lot of these musicians as these big celebrities and how great they are, but they're owned by somebody and they're told to dance, monkey dance. And if you don't dance, you're dead. Oh, and you'll be replaced. Have a great day.
Well, see, but that brings me up to the recent Grammys, because I don't watch like I said, I think the business is so eviscerated.
Yes.
There's very few that are good. But then your buddy won a Grammy, and he was praising Jesus and all that. And I'm hearing all these people going, it's a plant. They're making him do that, And I'm
no,
going,
they're not. No.
Okay, but I'm just it's again, it's just crazy. You don't know what to believe because there's so much bullshit out there.
Well, and that's the state, that's the vibration they want you in. Confusion is middle. Confusion is not enlightenment. Remember, if you go through and you're confused about everything and you're angry, you can't find your way, your truth, and your light. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
I want to shift in the same realm of this chaos. I couldn't ask you about this. Alien reveal.
I think we're the aliens. There's no alien reveal. They're not coming. They're not from outer space. Do I think that there's probably, oh my God, Peter, we have so much stuff to discuss on this.
Well, I'm just saying, Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer is out there telling all this stuff. All these people, I watch a lot of this stuff, but you're going to tell me that there's none?
Well, so let's back it up. So there can be multiple different species, just like there's multiple different species of human throughout, civilization. And remember, we only know what we're given. And remember, everybody only suckles from the teat of knowledge by what is dripped down, right? So we have our whole belief system based on what a few people have dripped down. Like, why don't we look outside the box? Why don't we explore ourselves? Why don't we understand? Why don't we go figure it out ourselves? That's what I do with spirit stuff. Anyways, that's a whole nother level. But the more that I study, one, if you think about what aliens are, they call them extraterrestrial beings. Sometimes they're talking about how they're interdimensional beings and their energy, and they can rate, everything like that, right? So if you ponder about what a human is, when we're going to get all nitty gritty. When you have intercourse or sex as a human, you're literally creating a new universe. Like, you're creating a supernova, right? So it's an energy. So the cells come together, they start growing, which is amazing, which is what a star does. The dust starts coming together and it starts building, right? Then all of a sudden, in this female, this soul or this energy is shot into it or goes into it. That's a whole nother level. And then gradually it grows. You pop out, you learn how to adjust yourself to this body and this form. And we are the only species in the entire world that changes things from like dirt to a Yeti. Like, there's no other animal. Have you seen a fox do that? Have you seen that? No, because I believe at this point, from me studying this, that the aliens are much more spiritual, which even the word spirit, I hate that term because it's a reality. It exists within ours. It's on multiple different layers. It's like a quantum field. It's just a thing. And so what they do is you put yourself into this body to have this experience, but then you have this amazing energy behind you. So are you partially an alien? I would have to say yes. Even your body is not meant for this world. Like, the way we stand up, our spine, the amount of degradation we have, the amount of pain we have, our squishy flesh. Why don't we have hair like everybody else? Why is that not happening? We're meant to breathe in water because we have all these things, but like our lungs have like not developed. So what is that? Anyways, but with aliens as well, could there be other species? Yes. Like, if we talk about the cataclysm that happened 12,500 years ago, and they found the I don't remember, a comet or something like that. They found the hole in Iceland or Greenland. And it essentially went through and it wiped out the pre-cataclysmic civilization, which is what mostly all these other civilizations are built upon. Like, if you talk about the Inca or the Aztec, all of their main houses of worship were built upon these old ancient pyramids or these old ancient civilizations that they thought were from gods, right? But they weren't. It was just another higher intelligence civilization. And so what happened is, when this rock came down and hit, there's probably sunspots and stuff. Think about it. If who would be the first people on this planet to die off if a comet hit or if an asteroid hit? Who would be the first group? Would it be the people in the cities or the people in the country?
Well, it depends where it hit.
No, just as in general, people in the country normally they know how to grow their own food.
Oh,
They
okay.
know how to hunt, surviving.
Survive.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
who would survive? Who would last longer?
Well, yeah, that makes. I mean, they're talking about that stuff now. I mean, but
Well,
I
people
don't.
in the countries would. So what I'm saying is when this rock hit, it ended up blowing up or whatever it is, or separating the civilizations of these high ancient technologies. And so there was two sets of people. There was more of like the normal animalistic hominids. So let's just call them like Neanderthals. Obviously, I don't know that, but I'm just saying that's the only word that I know for something like that. And then you have these higher intelligent people. And so there's a few remnants of them. And so they go out into the wilderness or wherever it is because their technology doesn't work anymore. And they start interbreeding with this other type of human in order to survive. And so now you have us, which is why we have this higher intelligence, but it's also why we want to go over and blow up babies for no reason. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's this mix between animal and higher intelligence spiritual. And I think that's even more of a thing. I think we're trying to battle within ourselves to get to this next level of understanding humanity or the good for all or whatever this is. But do we have those animalistic qualities of like, I want to eat your baby, apparently?
I'm just confused because again, you got people like with the Anunnaki and and the reveal is coming 2027 and all these things and alien technology that's underground and and I get it. I want to see it. I just and they go I just wish they'd just rip the Band-Aid off and let's go. There's this girl I just recently saw. You ever heard of her? Her name is Elizabeth April, I think.
I've heard the name, but I can't picture the face.
She's like a 32 or 34-year-old little blonde Canadian girl who is blowing up right now. She claims to be a remote viewer. Do you believe in that kind of? So,
you can, but you have to have something to go off of to understand it. Then you have to have proof. You can't just keep saying it and then it doesn't exist.
She claimed, I mean, she can do anything from looking at me to going onto another planet, another universe. I'm going,
pause with that. So everything outside. So look around you really quick. This is what I have an issue with that. So yes, could you remote view you? Absolutely. Could I remote view my husband? Absolutely. But the more I study spirituality in your world and quantum physics is that look around your room real quick. Look up and down and around.
Okay.
Everything that exists outside of that doesn't exist right now.
I kind of understand that theory too.
Okay. So, I mean, like literally, like it's been proven through quantum physics that matter only exists when being viewed.
Yeah, that gets deep. You got to, for most people, I mean.
It does. So right now, I know right now your daughter doesn't exist, but your belief in her is so strong that when you go, just like my son doesn't exist right now, but your belief is so strong that when you walk out, your assumption, your belief, it starts manifesting in front of you, and therefore she's real. But that's also how signs and symbols work from our loved ones on the other side. That's how when you're sitting in your room and then all of a sudden you walk out and there's a moving truck that says like Dan, that's maybe an uncle, and you're like, that's weird. It's because they put it in your reality.
There's too many things. Again, too many questions. This job, so to speak, has just taken me down so many areas. I mean, I spend half my time researching these things to not be an expert, but to have a grip on things. To when I talk to people, I kind of know where we're going, kind of, And even then, somebody's going to, like I said, make to call me a friggin' idiot. But that's the way it goes.
Who cares? But it's because they don't understand it, and that's okay. And they haven't researched it, and that's okay.
I get it, but same thing with you, though. I mean, I bring somebody like you on, and that's why, prior to we starting, I was asking if I wanted to show you off because I wanted people to really understand what you do from somebody who you don't know, and
correct.
Undeniable, but. Like I said, you're not feeling in the headspace for it like that. I go, okay, fine. I sprung it on you. I didn't expect.
And we'll do it in May. It'll be good. All
right, we'll make a date. See, I hate the dragging, taking up a lot of your time again, but no. This is where you shine. You know what I mean? It's like, besides, the hanging out and we could and talking. I mean, it's great, but that's the incredible stuff that just blows me. Not you claim anybody can do it, but I beg to differ.
Anybody can channel. Okay, but it goes back, and I think I said this a while ago, but it goes back into, everybody can cook, but not everybody can be a 5-star Michelin star chef. Right?
Yeah.
They may not have that precision, or they may not have that natural ability to taste. Everybody can get on a skateboard, like I can sit on it, but I'll never be Tony Hawk, but I can still have that experience partially of what it would be like to be that skateboarder for that moment. And I bet if I worked on it, I could do it. I'd probably break myself, but I could do it. So therefore, it's the same thing with channeling. Everybody can do it to a certain degree, but is everybody locked in? Not always. You have to just learn how to do it.
I think if you want to compare food, I think most people are making bologna sandwiches. I mean, I just feel like that's, where we're at. Old world, new world. Do you believe in this, that we're shifting, that there's a shift, into this fifth dimension, or right now, no? I mean, because right now everybody claims that we are in the midst of shifting now.
We're already there. It never stopped. It just is. There's no shifting. There's no future. The only time we have is now. That's it. There's no shifting. I mean, the future doesn't exist. The past doesn't exist. Literally, before somebody goes, oh my God, it's fucking stupid. No, fucking think about it. Shut up. It's sorry. There's my partial New York that comes out. I apologize. That's my father. But, we only exist in the now, and that's actually like the teachings of Yeshua or Jesus, right? He says that, I exist within you, me, and in all of us. God is within you, me, and all of us. And the only time you have to feel essentially is in this moment, is in this presence. That's where prayer, meditation, all those things are so big, is only in the now. So this act of like, we're shifting into it, I believe it gives us an excuse to hang on to what we need to release. That's all it is. Why do we have to? Why is there shifting? That's not how energy works. It just is. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do, but then why is there so many people with this belief system? I mean, the change and the higher, because we're going into a different vibration, and some people are going to get there and some people aren't going to get there, and all that kind of stuff.
Because that's exist all the time. That's just what reality is. And the coming of Christ is not going to happen either. Jesus is not coming back. Ooh, that's going to hurt a lot. Jesus, Christ consciousness exists within you. It's in with all of us. If you read the Gospel of Thomas and you understand these other books of the Bible, not the ones that Constantinople took out in order to like degrade the people. If you start looking into this, you start realizing the message of Jesus or Yeshua is that it exists within you. You are God, you are source, you are connected. And so if we all start realizing that Jesus or Christ or whatever we want to call it exists within us, then we can start walking in the path or raising our vibrational state, and then the world becomes heaven.
Well, look, I made the mistake because I was talking about Project Bluebeam. Are you?
I don't know a lot about that. I've heard about it, but I don't know.
There's a theory that the deep state or whoever, the cabal, that there's technology. Yeah, that there's technology through satellites and everything that because they want to get everybody to one world order. The whole.
Yes.
So the way they do things is through fear, like COVID and things like that. They scared everybody. They said, now you got to take off this. So Project Bluebeam is there's two types of things that they are going to happen. One is going to be an alien invasion where they're going to fake through holography and bone to, what do they call that? Bone to mind, or they claim they have that technology that get in your thoughts.
They do.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but the second coming, they're claiming that there's going to be the gods of whoever worships what that's going to appear and talk in their languages into their head, scold whatever they call it, and. I started talking about that, and I swear that was 5 months ago, and I get 100 comments a day on those short clips and people dropping Bible quotes. If you know your Bible, you'll know the difference between, the real Jesus and what's going to happen. And it's like, to me, it's so confrontational because we're talking about a book, and I'm religious to a certain extent, but we're talking about a book that was written by men that was, and so you dare say something, they get all upset because their beliefs are so deep and rooted in that stuff.
Correct. Well, I mean, also, if you think about this, so Jesus, if we want to get spiritual, Jesus talks about, right, I'm the truth, the way, and the light. And nobody talks about the whole thing with the Bible is that they, which means people throughout the centuries, King James edition, whatever it is, right? Henry VIII changed the Bible up so that he could fuck Anne Boleyn. Okay, so I want you to think about, like, literally, that's what it was, right? So we want to put it out there, but it changed it. But then everybody had to follow it through fear, right? Because we're all in that same belief system, right? Because that belief system creates this like little ant colony, and you can get amazing things done, right? So if you control the mind of the belief, then amazing things can happen. That's all it is. But essentially, with that, you know, when you start looking into the books that were taken out, and you start looking into all these things, they don't teach they teach what they want you to know. They don't teach you the how to get to a Christ consciousness or Jesus level or God level, which exists within you. They teach you how to show up, how to listen to somebody about their opinion about it, but they don't give you the how, which leads you coming back. So now the how is also taught to you by a man that also has his own unique experience and beliefs. And so therefore your whole opinion and belief is going to be skewed. So you're getting taught how to not trust yourself. And I think that if Jesus or Yeshua showed back up, that he would be like, all right, why is everybody praying to my dead body on boards? What are you doing? Why are you not acting as I am? Why are you not seeing as I am? Why are you not being as I am or as I was? Why are you praying and crying at my feet? That's not life. Life is now. Life is happening now. So do I think sometimes maybe it was twisted into more of a demonic area and then packaged as being the light? Yeah, sometimes. But that's a whole nother thing. That's not for me to discover.
I think the saddest part of what I get out of all the comments is people are waiting for him to come back. It's like, and I'm thinking in my head, I know, but in the meantime, you're sitting around waiting for him to save us. And then
it's here.
I get it. Will you tell them?
I know it's already here. You save yourself. It exists within you. God's source exists within you. It's here. And when you come to that realization, then you start embodying that and you stop living in shame. Because I remember I went to the last time I went to church, people invite me all the time and I'm like, cool, let's go. I love the music. I was in a praise and worship team for 5 freaking years. Okay. Like I know all the songs in Spanish, but with that, I went there and I was sitting on the second to the front pew. And it was a bigger church. I mean, it had like 1,000 people in it. It's a super church. Right. And the guy comes out and the first thing he says, he walks up. Now, this is a non-denominational. I will forever remember this. He walks out and he says, I want you today to realize that you can never be as good as Daddy God. You will live in shame. You will live in turmoil. It is important to pray and repent, for you will never be at the level of Daddy God. What the fuck? That is, somebody is preaching to you that you are shameful, you are terrible, you are a disgrace, and that you will never be what you are. That's all that is. And people are like, hallelujah. Like we're agreeing with that. What? Yeah. What? That is not the message of Christ. That is not the message of that ever. And then he keeps going and he's like, the demons will come and try to see you. They will try to get into your soul. And the more that I go and the more that I do this, the one thing that I highly dislike is when people go, oh my gosh, before I channel, I envision the white light and I protect myself. Do you know why? Do you know why I hate that? Because as soon as you believe that there is something to fear, you are not in power of your own. That's it. And so if you believe that there is darkness, if you believe that there is evil that can get you, then that means you are aligning with it. As soon as you hit that fear vibration, as soon as you go, I have to do this to protect myself, you're not within the light anymore. Now you're believing that you are destructible by an entity that can get you, but you literally are everything.
I just get my fill of it in the comments with the religion stuff. And again, I come from Greek Orthodox. My parents were old school, and that religion is like, they haven't changed a lick in, yeah.
Yes.
And so I have that little bit of accountability, but I also take it still with a grain of salt. Not a grain of salt, more, but I question everything nowadays. I don't know what's happened to me.
Well, and that's okay. That's good. You're rewiring your brain. You're understanding. You're asking questions. You're not going along with the same pattern, the same programming anymore. That's it. And that's okay. Do it and don't feel bad about it. But make sure all you do when you're doing this is that you don't try to take your opinion and force it down somebody else's throat. Remember, if they want to learn, then they'll come and ask. If they don't want to learn, they're going to block you all the way.
Yeah.
And the thing too is that within these religious sects, I battle with this because I'm like, well, what if we just got rid of it? I think religion, it does have a place, because especially with I don't like the whole young kid thing with indoctrinating them. That's a whole nother story. I saw that once, but I think it's a good thing, especially if you have a sense of community, or if it's go and help your neighbor, go and do this, don't go and shoot somebody. I think that there's a place for it. But also at the same time, I think we have to be very truthful with ourselves and really stop playing this game of, you're bad, you're terrible, you're never going to be this, because that's also a thing of control. But within those religious sects like Catholicism, Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, Jewish, all that stuff, there is something about those patterns. There's something about the rituals that is resonance, it's vibration, it's frequency, and it does help you connect, which is interesting. Like that, or when they're humming with the smoke or whatever it is, or the incense, they're putting your mind in that vibration to channel. Oh, wow. So essentially when you're doing that, you're channeling. Wow. Yes. Looks like channeling is spiritual. And everybody does it.
It's deep. Again, I feel really, when I go to church, I feel very vulnerable for whatever reason. I don't know why. It always brings out emotions in me. I start thinking about way too many deep things, like people that are gone, and I don't know why.
That's okay. You're releasing. And they're connecting with you. So remember, the reason why that's popping in your brain, the reason why each one of these faces is popping in your head at that moment, is because they're putting that image in your head at that moment. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it happens a lot.
And that's good. That's because they're around.
Well, yeah, it's all good. Look, I know you got time. We could be doing this. Could be a 3-hour. I know.
I can. We'll do a longer one next time when we channel.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. But here's what. Oh no, oops, that's not what I want to do. Right now, I want to tell people real quick, because we are running out of time. I know you're going to have to go. If you want to find more information on Amie, go to, that's your website, thebaleskyexperience.com, correct?
Yep.
And you can see she's got a million videos and her channeling and things like that. But like I said, my goal was, I was hoping maybe we could just bring somebody on the show. But I'm going to talk to Chris. And by the way, congratulations. How long have you been married for now?
7 years.
You guys really look like you have fun together.
Oh, we do. Oh, I love him. I have to say, I'm the mind, he's the body. So if we had
but you're so freaking blessed, because it doesn't work out that way very much.
He's my second husband.
I know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I thought about it because I know your story and how you found each other and all that,
Yeah.
But the thing is, I every time I saw some video and you were doing something, he's like, Amie, you got to go, or you got to do this, and you're overexerting yourself. You do too much, and he's like, it's gonna kill you. I heard him, and he's just But I'm envious. I mean, not envious. I think I'm so happy for you, I guess is what I got to say, because it truly just looks like you guys work really well together. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. I could not. He pushes me and then I push him, and it's in a good way, not in a bad way. And also, you ready for an interesting thing? So you're talking about being divorced, right? In your beginning. So I came from my first marriage, got married at 20 October. I turned 20. I got married in October, and then I turned 21 in November. So I was 20 when I got married. I got a divorce when I was 26. But that relationship was just terrible to the extreme that I don't even want to talk about it. Just bad. So I ended up leaving, and long story short, this weekend, my ex-husband and his new wife and my son are coming down, and they're staying at our house on Saturday all the way through next Friday.
Wow.
And we're going to be hosting them. And obviously my son is here, right? He's been with his dad for a little bit, but we're all going to be having dinner because he wants to see where his son lives. And I'm like, come on down. And now we're all friends. So it's weird.
I mean, I also envy people who could be friends with their exes. I mean, unfortunately, mine still does not even talk to me. And thank God I have a daughter that's very understanding. She's an old soul. That's all I can tell you, because it's just different. But it's not easy. And again, this whole show started because of my divorce. I had to change my life around. But I'm thinking about taking the words off of the intro song because, I'm divorced dad, but that was, the time is gapping a lot.
You're expanding, Peter. You're expanding.
Yeah, I feel like a giddy schoolgirl.
We'll be getting together. I'll bring a ticket.
All right. So, but I just wanted to say that I notice things. I'm always paying attention to you, whether you know it or not. And
thank you.
And I'm really happy for you because that's the ultimate goal right there. I couldn't. That was, what I think everybody wants. Nobody gets married going, I can't wait till we get married so we can have a horrendous divorce. And you found that. I've met people that have been married 4 times, and the 4th time around, they're married 30 years and they're happy as hell. But if the first 3 don't kill you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. But you're learning about yourself, and through each divorce, you have to learn, like, what did I not like? What did I like? How can I work on myself better? How can I show up for myself and my partner better? Like every single time you have something negative happen, and this is everybody that's listening, instead of feeling like you're a victim, remember that even though how bad it was, I want you to remember that it's just an experience and it's gone now. And so it doesn't exist anymore except for in your mind. And so what you need to realize is you need to look at that situation. What did I learn from it? How do I not be this way in the future? Or how do I look out for this? And then from there, you stack that onto your knowledge in your life and you can move forward with no baggage. That's it.
Again, I just not everybody gets that combination, and you guys work together really well. I mean, and it's just so, proud of you. That's a big giant gold star for both of you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, again, that's I don't think you can ask for too much better than that because, to go through life and have somebody next to you that you're really happy with, that's nice. Really nice.
I agree.
And you're young, it's really weird because I'm retarded in my head. I'm still like 20 something, but but the thing is, I'm not. And
it's true.
And things are, so you tend to think about these things a lot more because it's nice to have somebody around that you really want to be around. And you got a long way to go, hopefully, but you
probably not, but it's okay. I mean, with my illness, it cuts your life off early, but that's why we're living now.
I get it. And you're doing really great at that. But somebody else says, they go, she doesn't look sick. I go, here we go. So I didn't even want to go there. I go, listen, it is what it is. So I'm not going to explain it, but all right, look, I thank you for taking the time, and I'm going to talk to Chris, and we're going to get you so you can. I just want to show you off because that to me is, we will. Anything you want to leave anybody with this time around, and next time we'll get more into the actual channeling stuff. But is there anything?
Yeah, I know we kind of talked about everything across the board, all the way around. No, spirit exists within you. It's all around you. Your whole world is essentially magical that you create. I hate that term as well, but I mean it is. Everybody can channel, everybody can feel. Your loved ones that have passed, whether they're tragically, they did it themselves, they died peacefully, they're right beside you 24/7. They do hop in your brain is a computer, and you are very much loved and nurtured and taken care of, and you never have to worry about, do you need protecting, because you're always protected. That's it. Done. And I love Peter.
Again. Yeah, Peter needs a lot of help.
Shut up! No, don't believe that. Peter is perfect.
Part of the joke.
Where he's at right now. I'm going to kick your ass from over here.
All right, I'll take it.
Wait, you're still in California, right?
I'm sorry.
You're still in California, right?
No.
Where are you at? Okay, I was going to tell you I'll raise your taxes.
I finally just announced in February I gave up. Gavin Newsom kissed my ass.
Oh my God, that guy! Have you seen his eyes? He's a snake.
But there's people out there. We can't get into this. We're gonna keep going. He lies.
I'm gonna have to go to Sessions in just a second. Tell me, keep going. What he
lies? He lies like there's no tomorrow. I mean, he's just so. And people that don't know him, they think he's awesome. I see comments. They go, "I want him to be our president," and it's like he's the devil himself. Anyway.
Coming from somebody that believes there's darkness and light and understands it and has seen it, if you look that guy in the eyes, there's some evil shit in there. We'll just leave that there.
He's not getting another dime. My property taxes were going up some more. And look, I could have left California from 2012, but I stayed to raise my daughter. Now she's 20 and college bound. And I finally had to quit the moral decisions that cost me financially, but morally, there's no price. And I mean, but I finally had to say I'm done, and I
Good.
finally got out of there, and I simpled everything down now because I don't need to keep up with the Joneses. I want the show to be a success, but I don't need what success gives me. If that makes sense.
And that is what will lead you to success, is loving what you do, enjoying it, and not giving a shit about the results. That's how you get success. Just stay in your lane. So that's why when you were talking to me about, have you seen this? Do you watch this? Why don't you talk about this? I don't pay attention to it, because if I'm paying attention to all of that stuff, I'm not helping the person sitting in front of me, because my brain or all that noise is going to be fucking with it. And so I try to keep myself as far away from out of it as possible.
I know. Well, I don't have your skill, but for me, I mean, I bring this because I'm trying to wake people up a little bit, just to be more attentive. That's all,
Yes.
But you can't. Some men you just can't reach. And,
Exactly.
And that's the way it goes. All right.
That's
Look,
okay.
if you have the time to hang out until I finish, great. If you got to go, you got to go, and I'll just take it up with Chris. Okay.
I do. I have to, because I have to be there in 6 minutes, and I still got to zone out.
Okay, there you go. Wave to everybody, ladies and gentlemen, right there. The one and only Amie Balesky, which I'm going to have back on the show soon, because I want her to watch. I want you to watch her channel. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
It'll be cool. It'll be cool. All right, Peter. I love you. Just hang up. Is that all I do?
No, I'll get rid of you.
You will.
No.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll take you offline. But anyway, again, yes, thank you. This is that's the problem. We don't talk that much because there's so much to talk about. But
I know.
All good.
We'll
all right, wave bye. There you go.
Bye.
Right there.
Love you, buddy.
All right, there she is. All right, right there. There she was. Let me get me. Where the hell am I? I'm small. Let's get bigger here. There we go. Amazing, right? There you go. All right, I'll knock you off so you can go do what you're doing. Kick from studio. There you go. Let's take a sip. She's so much energy. She's so energetic, and yet she's got health problems. And it's like, people go, I don't see no health problems. Like, she's got problems, but there she is. Oh. There's so much stuff I want to talk to her about, and we covered, a little this and a little that, but the channeling, I'm telling you. Oh, and I forgot to tell everybody, again, one more time, you can find her on the Balesky Experience. That's her website, but she's on YouTube. She's on Facebook. She's on LinkedIn. She's on TikTok, Instagram. So you can find her everywhere. Just the Balesky Experience. She goes under that, not Amie Balesky. It's the Balesky Experience, or the Balesky on a couple of things. But I just enjoy. I don't know. I just know. That's what brought us together. She drew me in. There you go. All right. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And the only way I was able to get her for tonight's show was to pre-record earlier in the day, because she has sessions in the afternoons throughout the evening, and there was just no way to get her, and I wasn't going to let the opportunity go by. I do want to remind you that next week, where we at? I say that a lot, don't I? Where we at? And when I know exactly where I'm at. Wednesday, March 18th, right here on the show, I'm going to have Paul Sutliff, author and an expert on jihad. He's got a book right here. It's The Cancer of Jihad Civilization, and he wrote a book. He's an expert on the whole, Islam. It's not a religion; it's an ideology, and he's got this book. And I had been talking to him for quite a while. Just happened to book him for this time during this year, and it just happened where we're having even more issues over there in the Middle East. So I think it's everything happens for a reason, another one of those moments. But he's going to be on the show next week, Wednesday, March 18th. Paul Sutliff, author and expert on the whole Muslim ideology and jihad, and with his book, The Cancer of Civilization of Jihad. So might be pretty interesting, and you'll learn something even more, because it's a pretty crazy way of thinking, but that's just my opinion. All right. Anything else? I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. So far, so good. And just a reminder to be kind. I say this every week, and I will probably never stop saying it, but life is short, and there's a lot of nonsense going on in the world. You know, there really is, and we need to take a breath before you speak. Talking about it with Amie. Everybody's got to lash out. They're angry. Take a breath before you speak. Think about it. Let things simmer. Sometimes don't even say nothing at all. There's so much current events changing that you want to jump on board and say, see, I was right. Screw it. Just sit back. Sit back and take it in. And then I get some people that, you know, they make comments, well, you're running your mouth, you know, you clown. And it's like, I'm here to bring this to people's attention. That's hence the show. If I didn't have a show, then I'd be just a commenter. And maybe I'd be in that realm, or maybe I wouldn't. But here I am, and I'm telling you, everybody just take a chill pill, I guess, right? Life is short. Let's love. It's way better than hate. That's it. Till next week, going to be a great show with Paul Sutcliffe and his book, The Cancer of Jihad Civilization. Join me and be cool. Enjoy the week. Enjoy your new daylight savings time. Take advantage of the extra time that we'll have for the next 6 months or so. And I'll see you next week. Right now, my name is Peter G. And I love you guys. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorce dad. Single dad.